You may see your cat as your furry little baby, but how do they see you? As a close friend? An acquaintance? A member of staff? Or something more? Just as you think of your pet as like your child, some kitties actually see us as their parental figures. If you want to know whether your cat sees you as their parent, pay attention to the following subtle clues. Sign number 1. You might be surprised to learn that your cat biting you can be a sign of anything other than them being very annoyed with you. But in fact, it can often mean exactly the opposite. Cats give gentle love bites to people and animals that they consider to be part of their family. These bites shouldn't hurt, let alone break the skin. But cats aren't always good at judging what will hurt humans. Your kitty would have learned this behavior back when they were a kitten, when they would have given their mama and their brothers and sisters love bites. If your kitty does this to you, therefore, that's a sign that they see you as their parent. Sign number 2. Okay, but what about being scratched? That's significantly more likely to hurt and may even result in you bleeding. How can that possibly be a sign of your kitty's affection? Well, have you ever seen two cats playing? When cats play with each other, especially young cats and kittens, it can often look a bit like they're fighting. They'll roll over on top of each other, clawing and biting and generally looking like they're trying to beat each other up. This is because, although play fighting shouldn't actually cause injury to either cat, it's designed to help them learn how to survive in a real fight with either a predator or another cat. With that in mind, mama cats will often let their kittens play with them like this, so that they can learn how to do it properly. Your kitten scratches you in play because they see you as their mother. Even though, unlike a mother cat, you don't have any protective layer of fur to keep their scratches from breaking the skin. Ouch! Sign number 3. Like many baby animals, kittens learn how to be adult cats by copying their mama's behavior. They watch her hunt, watch her interact with other cats, and watch her interact with humans, and they follow her lead. In the absence of their mother, your kitty is going to try and learn about the world by copying you. If your cat sees you as their new mom, then they'll do their best to follow your routine and mimic your behaviors. Wake up when you wake up, eat when you eat, and go to bed when you go to bed. They might even try to help you out at work by walking over your keyboard or follow you down the street when you go down to the store. Being a cat parent can be a tough job at times. Sign number 4. Shh. Is your kitty trying to say something? They keep opening their mouth as if to meow, but no sound is coming out. Or maybe there is a sound, but it's really quiet, like they're whispering. Have they lost their voice? Or are they just trying to be quiet for once? Neither. They're not actually trying to be quiet at all. Humans are actually quite bad at hearing from a cat's perspective, particularly when it comes to high-pitched noises. Our hearing range goes from 20 Hz to 20,000 Hz. Your kitty's hearing range starts a little higher than that, at 48 Hz, meaning that there are some very low sounds that you can hear but they can't, but then reaches the dizzying heights of 85,000 Hz. When your cat's meows seem to be barely audible, or maybe completely silent, they're likely just communicating at a frequency that your ears can't pick up. Since cats find it easier to pick up higher sounds than lower ones, however, kittens will often use high meows to get their mom's attention. If you've ever been around young kittens, then you'll have heard the squeaks they make that are in human range. Your cat doesn't know that your pathetic human ears can't pick up their mighty meows, so they keep doing it because, in their minds, it's the best way to get a parent's attention. Sign number 5. Does your kitty love the taste of your fingers? Some cats can't get enough of sucking at their human's fingers as a way to soothe themselves, the same way that a young kid might suck at their thumb or a pacifier to try and calm themselves down. This behavior is usually found in cats who were separated from their mamas before they were weaned. Kittens start off getting all their nutrients from their mama's milk, and then after 3 or 4 weeks they start eating more solid food instead. By 10 weeks, they will generally have stopped drinking milk altogether and will be exclusively eating solid food. But if this process is interrupted, then it can lead to the cat developing problems as an adult. These cats will also suck on blankets or other soft things, as well as their humans' fingers, so as to get back that feeling of comfort and security that they associate with feeding from their mother. If your cat does this to you, then it's a sign that they feel like they need a bit more parental comfort and support, and they're turning to you to get it. Sign number 6. Cats are generally very picky about who they sleep near. When they're asleep, they know that they're vulnerable to attack from other cats, or worse, hungry predators. Your own kitty shouldn't have to worry about any particularly dangerous predators, beyond that terrifying vacuum cleaner, of course, but their wild ancestors would have, and those old habits die hard. Cats will generally only sleep in the presence of people or animals that they trust, such as their mothers when they are kittens. If your cat sleeps near you, then that's their way of saying that they trust you, both to not take advantage of their situation and to protect them from any other animals who might try to sneak up on them. Not only that, but if your cat chooses to sleep in your bed, while you're asleep in it or not, then this suggests that they find your scent particularly soothing and comforting, to the extent that it helps them relax when it's time for them to snuggle down to sleep. Sign number 7. In general, if your cat views you as a parental figure, then they will likely want to be around things that smell like you. Cats are much more scent-oriented than we are. In fact, your cat's sense of smell is 14 times more sensitive than yours. To them, scent is the best way for them to learn about the world around them, and so if they want to feel close to you when you're not around, they don't look at a picture like a human would. Instead, they look for something that smells like you. If your cat sees you as their mom or dad, then you might come home from work to find them sleeping on top of your slippers, or curled up on your favorite spot on the couch, or on top of your pillow. It might be inconvenient, but don't get mad. It's just because they miss their mama. Sign number 8. Does your cat raise their tail in the air like a flagpole whenever they see you walk into a room? This isn't just their way of making themselves more visible to you. It's also a favorite feline expression of happiness. The higher a cat's tail goes, the happier the cat. And it's a gesture that dates back all the way back to when your kitty was a kitten. Baby cats tend to use the tail-up gesture when greeting their mama cat. Fun, but gross fact. It's likely that this behavior developed very early in your cat's kittenhood, when they were too young to even poop and pee on their own. Very young kittens need their mothers to help stimulate their butts to help them eliminate. And the only way for the poor mother cat to do this is by licking them. Because of this, kittens instinctively expose their butt by lifting their tails when they see their mama. Later on, they start doing it, just to show that they're happy to see her, or to see you, their new mama. Sign number 9. Hope somebody's hungry because your furry little chef has decided to start making biscuits. Also known as kneading, these rhythmic pressing motions that your cat makes with their paws are another gesture that dates back to their kittenhood. When it's feeding time, young kittens will make these gestures against their mama cat's belly as a way to stimulate milk flow. Your cat isn't expecting you to feed them when they do this, although I'm sure they wouldn't say no to a cat treat. As adults, this gesture is less about food and more about expressing love and affection. Your cat is saying that they view you as being like their parent. Hopefully that expression of love is worth the risk of pinpricks. Not all kitties remember to put their claws in before kneading their human's leg. Sign number 10. Guard your food. There's a kitty criminal out and about. Cats are little garbage cans and their stomachs often seem bottomless. Despite getting regular meals, and treats on top of that, they spend half their time trying to beg, borrow, or steal any human food that they can get their grubby little paws on, despite the fact that a lot of common ingredients in human cuisine, like garlic, onions, and chocolate, are poisonous to cats. What's going on? This is another sign that your fur baby sees you as their parental figure. Kittens, once they are on solid food, will often want to eat the same things as their mother, even if it's not what cats would naturally eat. In 1978, scientists did an experiment where they trained mama cats to eat mashed potatoes and bananas. These foods aren't poisonous to cats, and might even be good for them in very small doses. but they aren't what they would naturally have for dinner. The scientists then presented them and their kittens with one bowl of mash and one bowl of meat. The meat was what the kittens would naturally have eaten in the wild, but it wasn't what they went for. Instead, they waited for their mother to eat, and when she went for the mash, as she'd been trained to do, they followed her lead. The same thing is happening when your own fur baby sees you eating something and wants to eat it as well. They figure that if mom is eating it, then it must be what they're meant to eat. Sign number 11. One way to find out whether your kitty sees you as their mom or dad is to look at how they react to new situations. Kittens will often look to their mothers when facing new and unfamiliar things to see how she reacts and what she will do. As a result, kittens often end up echoing their mother's personality, and studies have shown that cats will often reflect their human's personality in the same way. Kittens whose mothers are nervous around humans will grow into cats who are unusually nervous around humans, while kittens whose mothers are more confident and friendly will be more confident and friendly themselves. In the same way, when given personality tests, cat owners who are marked as being more neurotic will have cats who display more behaviors that indicate anxiety, while owners who are marked as being more confident will have cats who display more confident behaviors. Having your own fur baby is a big responsibility, and setting them a good example is as important as it would be for a human kid. Sign number 12. You're snuggled up in bed, all nice and toasty warm, getting those last few precious moments of shut-eye before you have to get up and go to work, when suddenly, meow, 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 meow. Sometimes having a cat is a bit like having a big, hairy alarm clock, and not one that only goes off in the mornings. Whenever they want a meal or their water dish refilled or a door opened or even just a cuddle, cats tend to have only one reaction, screaming at the top of their little lungs. So what's up with that? Well, remember what we said about kittens meowing at a high pitch to get their mama's attention. Adult cats will typically notice, after a few tries, that high-pitched noises don't really work with humans due to those aforementioned pathetic human ears. But lower tones certainly do, and once your fur baby realizes that the floodgates are opened, just like human babies cry when they want something, your kitty is going to keep yelling whenever they need something from you. After all, if you have a problem, who better to ask for help than your mom? Sign number 13. How does your kitty react when you leave them alone? A lot of cats will get a bit annoyed if their human abandons them for more than a few hours. How is a kitty supposed to go about their day when the servants keep walking out without giving proper notice? But if your cat sees you as their parental figure, then their reaction will be much stronger. They may become distressed while you're away, even if you leave them with a responsible cat sitter. They might cry for you or even stop eating. When you come back, you might find that you've gained a little shadow. Your kitty will likely be a bit clingy for a few days, following you around and jumping on your lap the moment you sit down for more than a second, just to make sure that you don't go away again. Sign number 14. You might have heard that a cat's wagging tail means that they're upset about something. This is true. Cats will twitch their tails when they're feeling slightly irritated and lash them back and forth when they're feeling really annoyed. But a shaking tail doesn't always mean upset. If your cat's tail is in the air and it's shivering back and forth, like it's vibrating, then that's not a sign that your fur baby is annoyed. It's a sign that they're very, very excited to see you. You're more likely to see this gesture when you come home after leaving your cat for a few hours. Basically, it's their way of saying, "Welcome home, Mom." Sign number 15. So your fur baby has had babies. Does that make you a grand cat parent? You might find that your kitty isn't keen on letting you near her new little ones for the first few weeks after they're born, but then you might find that one day she just comes up to you and dumps them one after the other right into your lap. What's going on? Is your cat just abandoning her babies? Will you have to take on a second job to raise them yourself? How will you pay for the therapy to deal with their inevitable abandonment issues? Well, don't worry. You're not being left holding the babies, at least for long. You're just the babysitter. Feral cats, who don't have humans to look after them, will often rely on their relatives for babysitting services, just like many humans do. Your cat is just doing what a million other parents have done, leaving the kids with grandma or grandpa for a bit while she goes and has some much-needed me time. If your fur baby chooses to trust you with this responsibility, then you should take it seriously. Your kitty is showing a lot of trust in you, and you should prove to them that you're worthy of it by making sure that you look after their little ones until they get back. After all, it's your duty as their grandparent. Sign number 16. Did you adopt a cat or a goat? You were pretty sure you got a cat, but what with all this headbutting, you're no longer quite sure. This butting, or bunting, is another thing that dates back to the nest. Cats bunt their mama and siblings so that they can exchange scents. This is important because, as we mentioned before, cats are very smell-oriented creatures. They don't recognize their family members by sight as much as by smell. If your kitty is bunting you, then that's a sign that they're trying to get their scent on you and get your scent on them. This marks you as a part of their social group, kind of like a feline olfactory equivalent of exchanging friendship bracelets. Since they see you as their parental figure, your cat wants to make extra sure that you're marked as a part of their family. So now you know how to tell whether your cat sees you as a parental figure. You want to make sure that your relationship with your fur baby is the best that it can be. So what do you do if your kitty isn't cuddly? Well, help is at hand. Check out this video to learn what it means when your cat isn't affectionate and how to fix the problem.